Good evening, everybody. This is your boy Saxman. This is another episode of the Saxman Russaw Show. Tonight I got a wonderful guest. Been trying to get her in the studio forever. We're going to have us some fun. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about a lot of other different things we're going to talk about. So stay tuned. This is your boy Saxman, and this is the Saxman Russaw Show. Okay, let's get started. I know I'm late. I know I'm late. It's okay. It's not my fault. I'm going to blame it on a few people. It's not my fault. But, you know, it's my in-studio guest was running a little late. We had to get a few things set up. A couple of technical difficulties. But I'm on. We're going to talk about relationships. Last week, I had Portis and his wife, Paula, in the other studio, not in this one, in my bigger studio. And we had the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, was in the studio with us. I interviewed him first, and then I interviewed Paula and Portis. It was a great show. This is a continuation of that show about relationships and responsibilities of the man and woman in the relationships. So without further ado, we're going to talk to a young lady that's very beautiful, very intelligent. She's down to earth. She's on top of things. I would say she's the female version of Saxman. I want to say that, but I don't know. I don't know if it's safe to say that. But I don't want to tear her name up. But she just told me to call her Mickey for short. But it's micalina Cruz. Put your hands together for my girl, micalina Cruz. How you doing? Come on over here and have a seat. Thanks. Grab this chair.
Hey, how you doing, honey?
This is my girl, micalina. Look how beautiful she is, y'all. Micalina Cruz.
Sweet. You're too sweet.
Yes, of course. Now, who I've been trying to get in my studio for I don't know how long. Oh, it was like pulling teeth. It was like climbing the Mount Everest. It was like swimming the English Channel to get this girl to come in the studio. But I got her.
And later on, he'll blame me for that being a downfall in the relationship.
For being late too. Yeah, right. You know.
Sorry, I am last minute. I apologize for that. For being late, it is my fault. I'll take credit for that.
You're gonna take credit for that, okay? Mm-hmm. So you know that's what's going on. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself, anything about your pedigree, we call it.
Well, I mean, there's just me in a nutshell. I mean, I'm trying to pursue my passion. I have 3 children. I took the first part of my life to raise them. They're 21, 22, and 26. And, you know, they're very independent. So that allows me to pursue what I want to do, which is, you know, talk to people and share my experiences, just as this experience right here. Mm-hmm. And also cinematography. I'm a filmmaker. I just want to move on and do as much as I could do in life, because as we know that it's not promised to us tomorrow. So
no, it's not. No, it's
every day I want to live for every day, right. And that's the goal.
You know, I've said that all my life. I'm 60 years old, mm-hmm. Okay, and I've been saying that all my life. Life is too short; it can go past you so fast, and if you spend too much time worrying about the little things, you miss the big stuff.
Absolutely.
And my mom used to always tell me, "Look, don't sweat it. Just get past it, move on, and do something better." So I started doing this podcast because it's fun. It takes my mind off of my work when I'm at work, when I come home from work, because it's stressful.
I believe so.
Working in the streets, being a cop. This is kind of like therapeutic.
I can relate to that. I mean,
it is. You know, being on a podcast show is fun. And it can be therapeutic because it can really get you to experience. You know, it's great people in the world like her out here. It's people out there. It's things you can do. You have good conversation with people. You can have bad conversations with people, but just the experience of doing these shows and meeting people and getting into different conversations, different things you got to go through, like what's been going on with the rioting and all the other Black Lives Matter stuff. We're gonna get into that later on the show. Okay. A lot of that stuff brings people together and tears them apart.
Right.
So,
well, the truth will tear you apart. It is painful to find out what's really going on is what's really going on. So,
I've been laughing about it because it's been funny to me. I've been getting attacked on social media left and right about it, but it's so funny. I laugh because people are so wrapped into their emotions. They let their emotions control their common sense. And that's why I laugh so much about it. I'm like, it's so funny. It's so simple.
Not everybody's educated. They just go off of what they hear. And it's like that game you played in kindergarten. One story started here, and you whispered it through each.
And by the time you get to about 12 people,
so that was a lesson about gossiping. I mean, you don't, like my dad says, you know, if you don't know the words, don't sing the song. That's all there is to it.
Oh, I know a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Yeah, just don't.
I know a lot of people, they hum along, they don't sing, they hum along, they make up their own words, and I'd be like, damn, what the. But yeah, so last week we were talking about relationships, Paula and I. Her husband pretty much sat quiet because he couldn't get too much of his opinion. You know, because, you know,
all of a sudden, right. Okay.
When you're in a conversation with another guy, and you a guy, and your wife there, and the conversation is about women, you got to shut up. Because if you put your 2 cents in, you might be on the couch.
It's an argument later, right? It can be. It can be.
It can happen. So he, you know, she was more into the conversation. He'll come in, throw a jab, and shut up. You know, so we left off with the responsibility of the female. A lot of people that I bring that up to, I say that a lot of times. A lot of people say, oh, well, you leaving out the man. No, I'm not leaving him out. But
you want to address the female.
You got to address the female because the female is the one with all the power and all the decision.
Not necessarily, but true. It
okay.
Can be.
Okay, give me your opinion of why not necessarily.
There could be situations where a female will want something out of the, you know, what's going on and not get her way. And sometimes she just has to submit and do or deal with whatever the situation is, which is her choice. And not everybody should do it in every situation, but it does come about where for example, a couple's dating a year and a half and, you know, it's not exclusive. They're seeing other people, and one person happens to have a child along the way in that year and a half. Now, does that woman accept that, or does she have the power to make that kid go away? She doesn't. You know.
Okay, I get it. Mm-hmm. I get that part, but I was basing it on. She a single woman, he a single man. They out in the club together. Okay. They run into each other. They see each other. They make an eye, go, eye, you know. Mm-hmm. Women automatically size a man up just from looking at him. She sizes him up whether or not he's worth even having a conversation with, even if he buy her a drink. If he's handsome enough to sit there, even give her time to talk to. She looks at his body, look at his clothes. She listens to his conversation, see if he's making any money, how much money he's spending in the club. This is what I've heard from other women.
I believe you. I've seen it too.
I've heard this from other women.
I've seen it.
And that's how they size them up to decide whether or not if they're even going to give them the time of day. And once they give them that time of day and realize, oh, he got money, he looks good, whatever, then the next step in her mind is, I'm going to give him something. So she done made that decision right there in the club before the brother even bought her a drink. And from my experience, from one of my exes, she's good for that. She's good for that. She see a guy instantly bow. Yeah, so it's once they size him up and decide whether or not if he's going to be somebody she's going to go home with that night, she made that decision.
Listen, when a woman goes out and she decides she's going home with anybody, mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. She's going to, once she decided I'm going out and I'm going to pick up somebody to bring home because that's how I'm feeling this week. You know, like I'm a grown up. I might want to go home and there's no strings attached. I'm going to pick me somebody up. Or am I going to want strings attached? No, I don't know. But when you go inside, yeah, you're going to be picking and choosing.
Let me explain something to you. Men ain't looking for no strings. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know that.
When they out in the club kicking it, they just out in the club kicking it. They ain't looking for no soulmate.
Okay. So why be upset how you being picked out?
Okay, so if you do get picked out, number one, if the woman is doing the picking,
right,
shouldn't she be the main one that's saying, if I'm bringing him home and letting him go up in me raw, shouldn't I protect myself?
Raw? No, not raw. Never
they
go
do
raw.
that.
People use safe sex.
But they do that.
Safe sex. AIDS is real. STDs are real. And itching is real.
Let me tell you something. I did my research. Yeah. Black women are one of the race that carries more and distribute more diseases in the black community than anybody else. The STDs are distributed amongst the females more than anybody else. I did my research and I found that out. So I was like, how do I present that on my show without getting cussed out or saying you hate your people? Because I get that all the time. Oh, you a Tom, you a sellout, you hate your people, you hurt, and I can feel the pain. And I'm just telling you facts that I've researched. I'm not saying it to be because I'm hurt.
I'm saying that out of the statistics, I mean, who did you compare it to?
It was compared to all the other females.
You're talking about Asians?
Yeah, it was compared. It was compared.
But, back in certain heritages, they just believe in being with each other. And because those things happen, they get infected. I don't know. But as long as they're curable, that's one thing. But some things are not. And women use safe sex.
If a guy meets you, because
you can go out and sleep with whoever you want.
You a very attractive woman. You out kicking and a guy meets you.
It's my downfall.
He looking at you like,
Yeah, I'm not perfect.
Right.
By no means.
You're going to be looking at him like, Now, all he thinking about is smashing and dashing. Yeah. All right? He might not have a condom with him.
I do, but
you will. So you make him put it on.
Absolutely.
You're responsible.
If we go that far.
Right.
And listen, if he's not the type of man to put one on,
it
won't go that far.
We
won't even be in the bedroom.
You're responsible.
I'll fish that out. That's what I'm fishing for when I'm sitting there talking to somebody, not like how much money he makes. Yeah, I want to know that he has a goal for himself. That means he's a confident, successful man. But at the same time, no, I want to know that you're a responsible man and that you care about your life. And then if you care about yours, then you in turn care about mine. Mm-hmm. If we're going to be intimate with each other, adults should be responsible. They shouldn't just have random sex and just do shit.
They do all that. I mean,
Yeah, they do.
From the age of 13 and up?
Yeah.
Once they have that period, it's on. So they do it without thinking. And then...
Well... They can be manipulated into things, so that's how it happens. I mean, like you said, boys will do and say what they need to say to get what they want. So therefore, now she's heard everything. She's naive. Mm-hmm. He's touching, and like you said, she's in her prime, so he's touching her in all the right places. Mm-hmm. So therefore, now that's where the downplay comes in. And I was talking about that earlier, about nature and nurture. Like, there's two different things, and which one you follow will decide where you end up at.
Now, where did that come from? The parenting or what?
What?
As far as getting them right in their mind if they're going to go out.
Experience. You have to learn the hard way. It's unfortunate, but it's true. You have to learn the hard way. If you're put out there, my parents were separated and split from 2 on up, and it was rough. But, coming up in the different relationships and all the experiences that I've had, I've learned from each one of them, and I could say, okay, thank you for that. But it hurt along the way. And some girls that are inexperienced, those are the ones that fall short. Mm-hmm.
They also follow behind certain role models. I was talking about that last week. They use like Meg Thee Stallion. What's her other name? Them raunchy girls they listen to, that dress half-ass and do everything, shaking their ass. They looking at that. Yeah. And that's their role models. They think they mamas. It definitely ain't their mamas. It ain't their grandmamas. It's who they watching on TV. And they following behind them because their mamas are just as...
Well, because where is their mom and their grandma?
They just as screwed up. So...
Yeah, where are they? Because they're not there. I mean, my kids, I think it was a song, and they had it on the radio, so translated on the radio, it would say dance, 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 dance. But when it was not on the radio, it was something else. And when I heard my daughter listening to it at like 12, 13, I was like, Rick.
Yeah, I got angry at my daughter for listening to that song that talking about tighten up, rap something, tighten up, lick my something, something, whatever. She was in the car, I went and picked up from school. She in the car on her phone listening to it. I'm driving, I'm going. And she listened to it going, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, what? 12 years old. I said, no. I said, your mama know you listening to this? She said, yeah. I said, oh my God.
I had my baby in tears before she got out that car.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to, that's just belittles you.
It don't work when you have one parent pulling this way, the other one going this way.
Yeah, I have another parent, so it's just me.
Yeah, well, if the mama allows it, daddy ain't got nothing coming. That's the way it works because daddy don't live at home with her. Daddy lives over there, but mama at home with her 24/7. Mm-hmm. So she's feeding off
the bigger influence. Yeah,
much bigger influence, and that's the problem. That's the problem I got with my daughter. You know.
How old is your daughter?
She's 13. She's at her birthday.
Right. So time is hard to take with her because she's
at that
out.
age. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't tell her nothing. No. And her mama ain't trying to tell her nothing. And that's the problem. I'm worried about her growing up to be just like,
I don't know.
Them girls that you see on Instagram and on these other videos. It's scary, and I'm afraid it's gonna happen.
You know, my daughter is gay, and her girlfriend, she's 21, and her girlfriend just
I wasn't for that to happen than anything else because
I was ecstatic. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I mean, because at least gay sex between her, she ain't gonna go out there and get pregnant or catch nothing.
It wasn't that, but it almost, she just had this sense of responsibility that was insane, and she just became very independent, very young, and she and her, she had homecoming and girlfriends here and there, but her and this girl just moved in together, and now the relationship went south, and they have
what happened?
They have a lease. Well, Instagram happened. They 21. Oh, somebody inboxed you. That's your ex-girlfriend. You cheating on me. I'm insecure. Things happen to women and girls when they're young, and this girl's 21 years old, and it's unfortunate she's insecure, but the girl did reach out to my daughter, but she told her she was, living with someone, but that went south. Long story short, they both have to stay there because they're in the lease. Now you've locked yourself into the situation. What do? Do you disrespect your other person even though you're not together? I told her, no. Do not bring anybody to the home. And she the same.
Buy her out the lease.
Neither one of them really want to leave. My daughter wants to leave, but she can't buy her out the lease. So, anyways, the girl calls me the other day and she says, your daughter from somebody at 4 o'clock. I said, oh, I'm a killer. I'm a killer. I told you not to do that. You don't play with people's feelings, and that goes back to the relationship aspect. When you're meeting people, you need to be honest no matter what. And yes, these girls are going out there looking for these high expectations. Yes, those men are available, but don't think that they're not already taken. And if they're out there, they might be lying to their spouse. I mean, I've seen even the person I thought was perfect, him and his wife and their kid, and he wasn't. You just gotta watch out for the signs.
What did you check his Facebook status? See, he was single.
Listen, I'm single. I'm single, so I explore single options. So therefore, when I'm like single and I'm looking through different things and options to date, which I'd rather do out in public in person instead of online. Really, because it's whatever, what.
I'm scared. That's why I go to work. I come home. I go bowling because bowling just started, and I come home. I go to my favorite bar, my favorite club, and I come home. I don't really be out there no more trying to do that because at my age, And with the BS out there, I don't have the patience for it. So I'm afraid to, because I know I might run into that. And for some reason, Mickey, young women are attracted to me. Young women come at me. I'm like, well, where's the women my age at? Well, they all taken. Or they all destroyed.
Fed up.
Yep. So,
but women need to learn how to regroup and become whole again.
They can.
Or you can start. Yeah, you can.
Can they?
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely.
Well, why they haven't? Why they so screwed up out here, Vic?
Because some people fear pain, and which blows my mind, because then you tattoo everything all over your body.
Yeah,
but
really.
You think that pain, but
right.
No, I mean, love is a good. Feeling is a good pain. I'm okay with.
That was a good one, girl. That was a good one. I'm gonna use that one.
Feeling is a good pain. I'm okay with being hurt. I mean, shedding a tear shows that you still have a heart and you're still willing to care about other people. Now, if those folks don't care back, then it's unfortunate. You move on, and you hurt, and you move on. But it's not a bad thing. You don't have to be alone. If you want to be alone, so be it.
I don't mind. People say I need to go out and find somebody. You don't want to be alone.
I mean, maybe cool. When you retire and you travel, you never know. You know what I'm saying? It's all in his time, and that's just the way I've looked at it. I got other things to take care of before I'm even ready to settle into some type, even somebody well-established, like you said. If I go out to a bar, who am I to be like, oh, how much do you make an hour? And are you established? Do you have a retirement fund? I don't.
Right.
No. So those girls out there setting high expectations, and you don't even have your own, that's pretty sad. Now, if you do, then yeah.
I'm going to retire. I'm going to go to Brazil and look for the prettiest Brazil. I'm going to look for women like you. Your skin color, your hair and everything with the big old Brazilian boo-boo. And we're going to have some
Greece
fun.
has them too. You should go check them out too.
In Greece?
Yeah, I heard that. And Dubai.
I heard about Dubai. I heard about Belize and all them those spots. My cousin sends me stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, let's go here, let's go there, let's go here, let's go there. I said, okay, because he's about to retire. I'm going to retire. Mm-hmm. And my other cousin already retired, so we all get together and just bounce.
That's the ticket. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, go away for a little bit, experience Costa Rica. He wants to go to Costa Rica. Mm-hmm. He wants to go. He named a bunch of places.
I know. I've always wanted to hit the islands. I just don't do bugs, so it's really hard. It's so beautiful and it looks so tropical. I won't go to Puerto Rico because of the bugs, and I get ringed a new one for that. But
Puerto Rico's beautiful.
It is. My father tells me all the time. I got family and friends there, but I'm not going. It's a tropical island. I went to Texas and there were flying roaches. I'm like, all right, let's go back up.
Well, I went through it for, how long was I in Texas? A year and 8 months?
Where about?
Fort Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Down the Plain.
San Antonio.
I hung in San Antonio. I partied in San Antonio every weekend.
Nice.
Fort Sam Houston. I was kicking it down there, boy.
Yeah, it was nice. I was young when I was there. But I went back when I was 18. But yeah, the bugs. I'm not doing the bugs.
You'll get used to it.
Mm-mm. That's the worst thing that somebody says. If I say I'm not going down to Florida because it's a swamp state, they're like, it's okay. They stop biting after a while. I'm like, no, it's not okay that they bite, period. Wow. They'll have me for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, I got a niece and nephew down there living down there. Oh, they got a spot down there, and they tell me, it's dead about... I say, well, didn't you just tell me the other day a crocodile walked past your house?
I'm okay with the crocodile. I can see that. I can't see...
No, but they be hiding up under your car or in your garage. You go out, don't pay attention, he snap you, grab you, and spin you around, and now what?
Yeah. Well.
You don't see him coming.
Look under your car before you get there. If that's a possibility, it's big enough to see before you get there, so take a look.
But don't go to Arizona because they got things that come in.
Yeah, I don't do scorpions either.
Scorpions, spiders, snakes, all them suckers come in your house.
Spiders, no.
What, they come in your house?
Yeah.
They big.
Yes,
and they come in you don't leave your shoes outside on it. Or anything open when you got to grab it. You got to check it first. Mm-mm. Go in your bathroom, make sure you lift your lid with something else.
Spider bite? I've had 4 of them. They're the worst ever.
Spider bites?
Yeah.
Which ones? Which ones?
I have no idea. I didn't take them back and interview them after I was done. They bit me. I've had this is one scar there, but it was huge. It was big, and it's hard to...
Were they big spiders? Poisonous or anything?
The black... I stayed at the end of a dead-end street by these woods, so they were kind of squarish. But I don't want to talk about spiders anymore.
Okay, let's change the subject.
Quickly.
Was that she ain't lying about the flying. Yeah, he lives, Maurice lives in Texas. He lives in Austin. He tells me and him talk all the time. He calls into my show every week to bust my balls.
What are they, palmettos or something too, as well? But they're just disgusting. Yeah. I could deal with things that I could see, but not things like.
I got used to it. I was out there. Because we was out in the field all the time doing maneuvers and slept out in the field, slept out in the woods. I got used to it. It didn't bother me.
Like, yeah, you're good.
I'm in the military.
Most
What can I do?
that. Yeah, you have to.
You know, I ate some wild stuff out there too. So what you do? Mm-hmm. But I talked about this subject on the show last week about if I was governor of Ohio, I would make a law. I would put a law in place where if you young and you just met this guy and y'all ain't married, y'all ain't planning on getting married, y'all just want to screw around and have babies that live on the system, you gotta sign up. You gotta sign a piece of paper. You gotta sign an agreement that if you ain't trying to marry this dude, you can't hold him responsible if he leaves you and make him pay child support.
What if he's not trying to marry her?
Either way, he got to sign, because if you tell her, yeah, had this baby, and then you decide to leave her afterwards, you're done. Mm-hmm. That's right. Because technically, a man don't have a say-so in that matter. If he met her, like we met Friday and we was in bed Sunday and you got pregnant 2 weeks later, I wasn't trying to impregnate you, and I wasn't trying to be with you like that.
Right.
It was a hit move. But you got it. Now you come to me, you about to be a daddy, Sax. I'm like, well, shit, I'm not trying to be nobody, but what, you're going to have to do it anyway.
Which comes back to protection, ladies.
Yeah.
Let's get back to that. Condoms, just put a rubber on.
There's
Don't
condoms.
Just
there's
cover it up.
That's what's the day after pill or whatever?
Birth control, the day after pill, but.
Morning after, birth control, condoms. You got lots of ways to avoid pregnancy, or if you get pregnant, ways to get rid of the child and not be responsible. A man don't have that right. If a man, let's say, I got you pregnant, and I care about you, but you just wanted to hit and smash and go on too, and I want you to keep the baby, and you say, hell no, I'm not. I don't have any power over making you keep that baby. You go sneak, have abortion, boom, done. That's not fair. Now, if a man say, okay, I don't want to have a baby, she forces him. She go downtown, puts him on child support, and forces him to pay. And
you can sign your rights away.
That's it. You're done.
You can sign your rights away.
Not really.
Yeah, really. You just signed your rights away.
She ain't gonna let that happen.
You'll never need to be a father to that kid as long as you don't move.
She ain't gonna let that happen. She go back in.
She don't let that happen. That's a legal document. You can sign your rights away. People do it all the time, so they get their license back because they lost it because of child support.
That's what I'm talking about.
So you can sign your rights away and never have nothing to do with this child.
And she don't have to agree.
No. You don't have to. You can sign your rights away to a child. It's unfortunate that you do that to your child, because once they realize that you just gave up all rights to being their parent, people do it because they're getting married and they want you not to be a part of their kid's life, and we want to make sure you don't come down later, so they make you sign your rights away. But yeah, no, you can do that.
So that law should be in effect as far as if the two of you wants to get have this baby, y'all should be, number one, financially stable.
Good luck with that.
Because I'm saying, if not, the finance goes on the state, and who's the state? We are, because we got to pay in taxes.
You got to control crime and homelessness and prostitution and trafficking, all before you can actually tell people.
All that can be controlled.
That are involved having a kid to sign a paper.
Let me tell you, all that what you mentioned can be controlled. The homelessness, all that stuff can be done. They don't want to. Yeah. All these abandoned buildings and stuff can be homeless shelters. They don't. Nobody from the private sector want to do it.
Mayor or donor.
Our mayor don't want to do it. Our governor want to do it, and nobody in the private sector, these rich private people, they got money and everything, don't want to put no money in the system. They don't want to.
Yeah, they don't, and it's unfortunate because Cleveland could be a beautiful place.
It could be.
I mean, when I went to the art museum for the first time down there in university, I was just like, there's so many artifacts and so many beautiful things that can be put into place if people would just stop throwing their can in their front yards of other people and dropping your garbage.
You want to see the apartments. You want to see their homes. I live next door to some of the nasty. I moved. I had to move. But I got so tired of getting up every day with a trash bag, cleaning up their trash out of my yard.
Yeah,
I got tired of it. And they don't do nothing. They sleep all day. They're up all night. They're throwing parties. And they out outside 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Do that, but if this is where you live, though, still, you should clean up after yourself.
They don't.
Want a party.
They don't. Because they don't have any home training, or they don't have any self-respect or respect for no one else. And that's from upbringing. Because that don't happen to everybody. I got family and friends that don't do that because of the upbringing.
Right.
So there's the people that do that is because of the upbringing. They watch their parents be nasty, trifling, throw stuff on the ground, don't pick it up. They think it's okay.
Yeah. Well, when I see other people do it, it makes me pretty upset. And then what really gets me is when people say if they threw a hamburger out the window after, eating it from Rallies, and you're driving down the street and it just comes flying out and they're like, well, the birds can eat that. And I'm like, but it's still not the point. You just threw like a Whopper with onions and tomatoes split out in the middle of a street. It's dirty. You want to feed the birds, go to the park.
Go to the park.
Take a bag of pigeon seeds or some shit.
I can't understand the logic in that. But what is that? She's right about what? She right about what, Mo?
Yeah.
She right about what? I'm surprised you ain't called in and start busting my balls yet. I'm really shocked about that.
Very shocked.
Yeah, because usually about this time, he done called the phone. He done got on my nerve. He done said some crazy stuff.
Well, I had a question about relationships, and I thought about it.
Go ahead, let me hear.
And I thought, so when you're dating and you're in this dating mode and you meet someone and you start calling each other or you start texting because nobody calls anybody anymore, which is pretty sad because it'd be nice to hear somebody talk. But, okay, so you're dating and you guys start messing around. You're seeing each other maybe once every 2 weeks or, here and there. But you still have your own individual lives. You haven't really become a part of each other's lives. So when is it okay to say, it's just me and you, right? You know what I mean? So when a girl goes, well, it's just me and you, right? Oh, all of a sudden you want to be in a relationship and we've just been doing this and now I'm not trying to tie you down. I just want to know if you're sleeping with 4 or 5 other people, can I please be a part of knowing about it? So if I don't want to be a part of it, I can back out. And then if I do, then I'm at my own risk. And so be it. When is the time to say, hey, it's just me and you? It should be day one.
Mo, you got anything to say about that? I mean,
But we feel as women, we don't ask these questions. So if you go out with someone and you start fooling around and you think he's Mr. Fantastic and you take him home and you give it up to him and then you realize he's been married for 22 years and he's not going anywhere because you don't want to pay 2 mortgages, then you're like, well, you used me. Well, no, you actually didn't ask me.
Well, you didn't do your research.
From the get-go. Always ask. That's my motto.
You got to do your research. Everything. This Mo. Mo, is that you?
You know it.
Now, what you got to say about what she talking about, man?
About what did you say? Are we together? Are we the one? That's what she said.
No, is it just me and you? I mean, sleeping together. You're my only one. I'm your only one. I'm your go-to person. Vice versa. So you ask that from day one.
So in other words, you're gonna be a side chick or you're gonna be the main chick?
No.
What?
Not so much, because in reality, you don't have time for a relationship, because if you're in a relationship from the get-go, pull out, ladies. Don't stay there. Don't be somebody else's man. Don't chase nobody else's husband, nobody else's man.
You hear that? Do you hear that, ex-baby mama?
He's not leaving home. He's not going nowhere. So in other situations, when you start to date someone and that man doesn't want to be in a relationship, I'm to understand that you ain't committed to nobody. So, the time that you have for, intimacy or some type of companionship should just be with me. And if it's not, let me know and let me decide if I want to be a part of whoever else you're sleeping with too.
Okay, Mo. So give her an answer to that and speak for men.
I mean, wow. I mean, that's really hard. Because,
I know. That's why I say you do it.
I mean, are you saying, is this supposed to be?
I'm not speaking against men. Okay. That's where you're wrong.
Is this? Are you going to say? Are you saying is it going to be me and you? Are we being? Is this me and you, or is it like, or hey, me and you in a relationship now type thing?
Not a relationship. Okay, so we meet up, we start dating. You know, you call me every other day. Hey, babe, what's going on? Nothing. I'm at work. Blah blah blah. We run into each other on Thursday. Go have a drink, hang out, whatever. Now, I ask you at this moment, are you in a relationship? You say no. I said, all right, cool. So we start seeing each other. We then go home together. You might spend the night at my house, or I might spend the night.
I'm going to spend the night.
Or don't spend the night, however the case.
I'm going to be up in there.
However, you might have to leave. If you got to leave, you got to leave. But the fact is...
I leave afterwards.
Okay.
But the fact is I need to know, after today, if you're sleeping with other people, I'm going to need you to let me know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bottom line. Yeah. And people don't do that. Okay. They don't lay out those requirements.
Well, Mo?
You know, honestly, that is a hard question to really answer, because the thing about it is, when you're traveling down that road, as far as, okay, basically, because in a sense you're saying, okay, well, basically you're going to be we're going to be each other's booty call, so to speak.
So to speak.
But see, the thing about it, it's hard, because no matter how, because the guy can be up front and say, hey, look, I ain't looking for the relationship. This is all it is about me. This is what I want. Boom. And the girl can say, okay, I can get with that. I agree with that. But along the way, somebody catches feelings.
And it's usually the female.
But there's a misconstrued, always a situation that allows her to believe that there's something more. So when time grows, that's what my question is. So a year and a half later.
Damn, a year and a half.
A year and a half later, you have this totally, like, look, babe, you live on one side of town and I live on the other. So who knows what each other's doing, but when we see each other, we see each other, and we keep it like that, right? Now, here, along comes a baby, and you're like, well, wow, you never said anything. Well, I don't have to tell you nothing.
Whoa, now wait a minute. That ain't right, because...
I mean, honestly, that's going to be communicated between both parties.
Yeah, because you got this guy trapped now.
Got to be on the same page.
Right. You got this guy trapped now.
Well, no, she not pregnant. He got somebody else pregnant.
Oh, he got somebody
else. Now, you knew he was seeing other people, but now, I'm feeling like that the girl would feel that there was a friendship involved, and she thought that they were friends amongst anything a year and a half into it. So why does it always stay dry if it's just a dry relationship, or does there become a friendship with the respect of we're not committed to one another?
I'm trying to think, have I ever had a relationship like that? I can't remember one.
And I mean, it was all good until the baby comes along. You're like, well, whoa, there's a baby, and you had a baby, and he's.
But you gotta.
He said, well, I don't have to tell you anything.
You have to admit it's your fault. You allowed it. You allowed it, because if you accepted that booty call relationship where he could be over there and you be over there and be.
So it was always a possibility.
It's always a possibility, and you allowed it. You didn't put your foot down. You didn't make the rules, and you didn't say, look, it's either me or the highway. You didn't do that.
But no, she did. Not the girl did it, but does she have a right to be hurt?
No, because you allowed this man to be able to have that feel of activity outside of her relationship. You allowed it.
Yeah,
so you really can't say shit.
If that goes back to, again, where you draw the line when you meet someone, right? And what you tolerate and what you don't tolerate.
And that's what I've been saying in every show.
Yeah.
Women usually are the ones that make the decision if there's going to be a relationship or not. They usually see the man, size him up, and decide if she going to screw him the same night or the next day.
Right, but it doesn't have to always do with money.
It got to do with money.
Or job.
He can be handsome, just got nice dress, clothes. These young girls, you can give them some bud, and they bang the hell out of you.
You got to be hygiene. You got to smell clean. You just can't go around.
Yeah, but see, that's you. The average female can usually. What the hell are you doing?
I used to do this. I mean, I kind of agree with what she's saying. I mean, you can't say it's all the. I mean, females, their objective is not to go in there and, I mean, say, hey, I mean, I'm a sleep with him and get money from him.
Oh my God, Mo, what the hell? Oh my God. Mo, stop pandering. Stop it. Be for real, man.
That goes back to what I said though. If this girl don't have nothing and she really ain't about nothing, how can you set them standards up when you're walking into a place?
Women automatically in these clubs, all the clubs that I used to work part-time in and the clubs I used to hang out in, you see these girls look him up and down and see how he looked, and then they would go outside and see what type of car he driving, because it happened to me. It happened to me. How much money he spending in the club, how many bottles he popping.
See, that's just it though. See, because it happened to you, that don't mean that's what
I've seen it in clubs that I used to work in them. I used to sit at the door and used to watch it.
He ain't lying, it's true. They are out there, and
They
that's
are
just
out
what they
there.
are. But that don't mean that's all the women. If that's where you're looking for women,
Mo don't go out. Mo too busy at home. He got his wife and kids, so he don't know nothing.
Right.
He's lost.
No,
He's done. He's done. Mo is
Yeah,
done.
put you out there, Mo.
Mo is done. That's why he don't know what's going on, because he is lost. He's done.
Right.
See, I ain't married. I ain't got a woman at home, so I can hit the streets and see what's going on. So I see it.
I still go out and hang out with my friends.
Yeah, you go to the shooting range or something like that. Go shoot at the damn
That means
range.
you gonna punish me.
Your ass, you don't go nowhere. You go to the restaurant, go to the shooting range. That's it.
Restaurants are good.
I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, I really don't go out that much.
See what I think?
At the clubs no more.
No, there's no.
So
They
you
don't have
know.
clubs like they did when we went clubbing. Like when we had clubs, we got up, we hit the dance floor, we were having drinks, we were dancing so much throughout the night you couldn't really get drunk.
That was back in our day.
Right.
These kids today, if you go to a young club today, they in huddles.
Yeah, I don't do the
They
clubs.
all in huddles.
Too many people.
Yes, men all over. I went to a club on 185th Street called 123 Club or something. Forget the name of that club. It's on 185th Street off Lakeshore. It's a young club. I went in there. I finally had a weekend off. This was 2013. Finally had a weekend off. I said, I'm going to put on my suit that I ain't worn in a long time, and I'm about to hit the club, but I'm going to go out. I want to go have some fun. So I go up to this club, never heard of it. They say it's a new club, go try it out. Didn't know it was a kiddie club. I'm going in with suit on. I'm suited down, gator and everything. I'm totally overdressed. Everybody in t-shirt, tennis shoes, hat turned backwards, shorts, mini skirts, tits all out. I'm like, what the? And when I walked in, the dance floor was empty. They were all either at the bar or in the corners, huddled up on their phones, doing this.
Right.
I'm like, well, okay, so let me go order a drink. I'm at the bar. I see 3 pretty girls. I told the bartender, order them drinks on me. This is what we did back in the day. You know, be a gentleman. Order them drinks. The one girl turned around like, woo, she want to talk to me. Yeah, I done bought 3 drinks in mine.
That was his intention. He was like, at least one out of the 3 got to turn around at me.
She talking to me, I'm talking to her back.
Right.
And
one.
My phone rang. I had a flip phone. I pulled the flip phone out, flipped it out. She laughed at me, turned around like, nigga, turned around, walked, and turned around. I'm like, what? You got a flip phone? You ain't got a smartphone? And turned away from me. She judged me on my phone. She didn't look at my suit. She judged me on an article, a cell phone. Told me I'm outdated. Yeah, 2013. That's when I finally went to Radio Shack before Radio Shack before it shut down 2013. Went there and got me a brand new. I say, I'm not gonna let a phone destroy my social life.
You had a flip phone?
I had a flip phone. I had one of them damn what you call that company with the flip phones? I had a Page Plus. I had a Page Plus flip phone.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can't be doing that.
Dude, I ain't been out in the club in so long because I worked all the time. So I finally had a weekend off to go see what it's like out there. And now I see the young people, all they care about is cell phones and cars. I was like, you kidding me? That young girl looked at my phone like, yeah, I don't want to talk to you. Because everybody had cell phones. They was all selfie. No men was dancing with women. No man was in women's face trying to talk to them. They was all men was huddled on out over there. All women was huddled over there. I'm like, is this a gay bar or what?
Well, my dad's been married 38 years, and he says the key to the good time is just making the other person laugh, and that's
me. I make you laugh all day.
So that's just it. And if you can find that person,
so
be it. But you have to be outside of a club where there's screaming music. You know what I mean? There are other places.
I can't stand that. I can't stand club. That's another reason why I stopped.
I like music.
But it's too loud where I got to scream over it to talk to you. That's annoying. We got to leave the club to go talk.
Right.
You know, and then we got to pay to get back in again. We're like, damn, man, we have to come out and talk to her. Now I got to pay to get back in. You know? So I'm done with clubbing. I just can't do it anymore because it was just different. Now it's really different because they don't dance. They sit around and talk. And when you try to talk to them,
exactly. Yeah, that's how they do now. Clubbing like it used to be back in the day.
Like it's terrible.
They don't dance too much.
They don't dance. And I like to go to an older club where older people our age just having fun and mingling. Ain't no more club.
And you know what? That's the funny part, though. Like, that's just it. There's no more of those.
It's no more.
They told me that the Wolf Lounge was still open, and I was like, it's probably not like it used to be.
Which one?
The Wolf Lounge.
Oh.
But it's probably not like it used to be. But it's like really laid back.
No, they closed down all the good ones in the early.
Remember that one spot down there? What was it? Greenlight Shopping Center Plaza.
Yeah.
That used to be that used to be for folk. That used to be for the 30 and over crowd.
That's how it was.
The 30 and over crowd started diminishing, and they started opening up to the younger crowd.
That's why they closed down Club 75, Mardi Gras, the Robin's Nest.
Mardi Gras was nice.
Oh man, all those spots I used to hang because I used to go blow my saxophone in clubs. Can't do that stuff no more because they all gone and the young people took over. So
because the problem was that the 30 and over crowd wasn't really coming to the clubs too much, so now they had to turn around and they had to start opening up to the under 30 crowd.
Yeah,
and they ones that made it bad. Fighting all the time.
They made it bad. It was a problem. I got tired of going there, had to deal with it. I don't feel like going there and get robbed because you got to stand outside to smoke. So he drive up and rob you, keep on going. You're like, damn, you know. I got tired of it.
Right.
So it was a lot of changes that made me say, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not doing that no more.
It was back in the day you could socialize and meet people at the club. Like now you just can't. Because even if you do meet them in the club, you don't have that respect for them anyways. You can meet at a local bar maybe where there's like food and drinks in a sports club.
You can't. Like it's a lot you can't do.
But clubbing just ain't respected like it used to be.
It's not.
Now you see a girl in the club, they like, you got 5 kids at home or whatever, who knows what. You're stereotyped right away.
Tell me something. How are we going to get the fathers back in the home? What's your idea or plan to get the fathers back in the home?
We need to be more aggressive as fathers. You got to want to be a father. It's up to them. I mean, T.D. Jakes was always one to say, you got to go. Climb up the window if you have to and let the kids see that you're there. And no matter what, in the long run, you know.
Okay, but how can you keep the man there without being put out by the female? After she get pregnant and had the baby and she went down.
But he's doing his duty as a man and they had the right thing going, then she won't want to put him out.
Okay, even if she want to get that check.
He'll get the check with her most of the time. Isn't that what they do? They'll move right into the HUD, the public housing with them and then whatever.
But 9 out of 10 chance, usually she put the real father out and bring in another guy in that got babies by somebody else.
Again, that's broken nurture. You know, it doesn't mean to happen like that. I read that book, A House of Horrors with Anthony Sowell, and that girl that was decapitated with her head in a bucket. You know, the story starts out where her parents and Shaker, you know, the mom, and they're established, they have a nice home, the dad works, the mom stays at home, makes peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, whatever the flip. Now, the dad dies suddenly, kidney something, whatever, it kills him at like 36 years old.
Damn.
I mean, it's young. And now this family's broken. Now the mother has no choice but to move into Morris Black
Yeah.
And shit goes downhill from there.
Don't talk about Morris Black. I was raised in Morris Black.
That's exactly the one. It's the one where the crack started, and
I was raised in Morris Black.
Ended up in the presence of Anthony Sowell, and then for that, she ended up in that basement decapitated. But
what you know about Morris?
Had her father not died suddenly in that nature, it could have been
what
a
you
horse
know
of
about Morris Black? He wasn't around there anyway.
Let me tell you something. Don't let my skeletons come out this closet. Don't let my skeletons come out this closet. I've been down the way.
110th and Woodland. You was around 110th and Woodland.
Don Gray, King Kennedy.
You was up in there? Oh, you was an old player back then, huh?
I was not a player.
Yeah.
I was a homie. I used to do a little couple of things. I had brothers I used to do. I knew people. I was just a hustler, though. I mean, I was... from 18 on, I mean, it was go. And I was so tied down at, this perfect life as my mom and her family with their Italian ways and the bullshit. And so, like a Catholic girl, I broke free at the age of 18. Instead of becoming a whore, I just decided to hustle.
So you got Italian in you?
I'm half Italian and I'm half Puerto Rican. My mother's Italian, my father's Puerto Rican.
That's good.
But
no wonder she looked good, got beautiful skin.
But experience, I mean, I was crazy. I did the crazy things. I set cars on fire. I done stepped tires out. I done did all of that. But I had to learn.
That's the Italian in you. That's the Italian in you.
No, that was the abuse across from the other man. You know what I mean? He said he wanted to love me, but he was insecure. So, there was abuse when I was younger, 20-something years old.
So you set his car on fire.
His girlfriend's
car. His girlfriend's car.
I'm gonna leave the house to go stay at my daddy's house and get up in the middle of the night and find her there in the middle of the night with the red light special on in the middle of my living room.
Mo, I got a serious gangster sitting next to me, man.
No, I was my daughter's 21.
But you know what? I want to say this too, though. But what she like the question she was saying too, like that she put out there was, I think in all honesty too. The way you have to get it back is you have to, relationship-wise, you have to take the time to know each other, and that's the reason why. It's just like I think we talked about this last week when I said, the problem is the guy they always say, oh, she wasn't like this or he wasn't like this when we got together. Right. And you know what? I hear that all the time, and honestly, I always tell people, bullshit. They were like that before. You just didn't care to bother to look at it.
To get to know them better, right?
Honestly, that's one of the biggest problems right now with the relationships, because the mother and the father, they don't get along with each other.
Well,
and matter of fact, I have a friend of mine. He's going through the exact same thing that you're describing, Sax. And I told him the same thing. Hey, the only way you're gonna be able to solve that issue if you get one, joint custody, or dissolve your rights. And you don't want to dissolve your rights to your kid.
No, you don't.
You don't want to know your kid.
Right. So you have to put up with what the state gonna put on you.
Again, you just really want your kids to see what you're doing to be a part of their life. Yeah. And the importance in the long run, it benefits in the long run. Like, my father wasn't that dude. He wasn't. There was no child support coming from my mother, and she put up with a lot. But what my dad did in between, like, he's my best friend, and I'm a daddy's girl. Right. I'm there every other day. So, yeah, it's just a matter of what that kid sees along the way. And you want to set a good example. Don't fight with their mother.
Were you ever married?
No.
Never married. I got some statistics from the New York Times that says of the world's females, 140 million births that's happening since 2016. It's about 15% or 21 million were born out of wedlock.
People aren't Catholic anymore.
They say women.
We weren't Catholic anymore.
They say women not married. It says a rise in women without wedding rings. Not having babies without having babies. Okay, let me start again. A rise in women without wedding rings. In other words, not getting married.
Again,
and having babies is about 40% in the U.S. It creates it creates alarms in conservative circles, which is true. Because of a lot of people conflate the unwed and single motherhood, which is in these videos, these songs, what they see on TV, what they see from other women.
Right.
A lot of that stuff happens.
I mean, but don't you see that you don't want that? If you're looking at something, if I'm a woman and I see this woman going through the pain and the heartache.
Okay, you fucked up. You on drugs. You fucked up. You got 2 daughters and a son. All right, and they see you fucked up. They see you bringing in men, taking them in the room and doing them all for some money, and the kids are seeing this.
Right.
I put a post on Facebook that I got chewed out from a bunch of single mamas. That it was a caption of a mother in the mirror, butt naked, taking selfies of herself in the mirror, and a little girl was standing going, "Mommy," little girl looking at this, and it said, saying that. You seen that video?
Well, that's bad. I seen a video like that where they were partying and twerking on the dining room table, and